Your client opens a document you just submitted. Somewhere in the metadata, a signal identifies it. It says Claude helped write this. Anthropic has confirmed it is adding invisible watermarks to text and images generated by Claude. That quiet announcement is already causing real friction. Some users are genuinely worried about their jobs. Others are worried about their academic standing. A few professionals are rethinking entire service offerings. This development deserves a clear-eyed look. Not panic, but not dismissal either. Let us start with what Anthropic actually confirmed. The company says Claude will embed watermarks into AI-generated text and images. These are not visible stamps or badges on the surface. They are signals embedded inside the content itself. Anthropic describes this as a step toward content authenticity. The stated goal is helping platforms and organizations identify AI-generated material. This matters because the pressure to label AI content is growing fast. Regulators, schools, and large employers are all asking the same question. How do we know what a human actually wrote? Watermarking is one answer the industry is starting to adopt seriously. Claude is not the first tool to move in this direction, but Anthropic is among the most widely used professional AI assistants. That makes this shift significant for a large group of working people. The reaction online has been divided and revealing. Some users are frustrated because they use Claude quietly at work. They rely on it to draft reports, emails, proposals, and client documents. They have not told their employers how much Claude contributes. Now they are worried a watermark will expose that reliance. That tension is worth sitting with for a moment, because it points to something the AI industry has been circling. A lot of professional AI use is still informal and undisclosed. Watermarking forces that conversation into the open, whether people are ready or not. Students face a parallel version of the same pressure. Many universities now use AI detection tools alongside traditional plagiarism checkers. If Claude embeds a detectable signal, detection becomes more reliable. That changes the risk calculation for anyone submitting AI-assisted work without disclosure. Anthropic says this is about trust and transparency, not surveillance. The company positions watermarking as a feature that protects everyone long-term. Independent analysis of whether these watermarks are truly reliable is still limited. No watermark system has proven completely resistant to editing or reformatting. Heavy revision, translation, reformatting, or paraphrasing may degrade or remove the signal. That means the system is probably not a perfect detector of every case, but it does not need to be perfect to change professional behavior. Even an imperfect signal shifts how employers, clients, and platforms think. If a document might carry a watermark, people begin asking different questions. That shift in how questions get asked is already consequential. Now consider what this means if you are building a service around Claude. Freelancers selling content, proposals, research summaries, or reports need to pay attention. If your clients can detect AI involvement, your service positioning needs to reflect that. The smart response is not to hide the tool. The smart response is to lead with what you actually bring. You bring judgment, selection, revision, domain knowledge, and accountability. Claude can draft at speed, but you decide what actually goes to the client. That human review layer is the part no watermark can touch. This is also where pairing Claude with other tools makes real sense. Consider how Claude works alongside Notion and N8N in a professional workflow. You use Claude to draft a detailed research brief or client summary. That draft moves into Notion, where you review it, restructure it, and add context. N8N can automate the handoff, routing the draft to the right Notion workspace. The human editing stage in Notion is where your professional value lives. By the time the document leaves your hands, you have shaped it meaningfully. That combination is what separates a skilled service from a simple prompt output. If you subscribe to this channel, you already know we focus on that distinction. Claude with Notion and N8N creates a workflow, not just a shortcut. Google Docs works in a similar role if Notion is not your preference. The point is that any tool that captures your revision layer adds value. Your edits, your structure, your professional judgment, those are the deliverable. Clients are increasingly paying for that layer, not just raw AI output. Now, there's a broader industry pattern worth naming here. Anthropic is not acting alone in pushing content authentication forward. The Content Authenticity Initiative, backed by Adobe and major media organizations, has been building toward this moment for several years. Watermarking, provenance metadata, and content credentials are converging into a loose industry standard. Claude adopting watermarking is one piece of a much larger shift. Within 2 to 3 years, detectable content provenance may be a basic expectation. Platforms, employers, clients, and regulators may all begin to assume signals exist. Building your professional identity around transparent, human-reviewed AI assistants is not just ethical. It is increasingly the practical position that holds up over time. Who benefits most from thinking carefully about this right now? Freelance writers, content strategists, and proposal specialists are at the front of this. Marketing professionals who use Claude for the campaign copy need a clear disclosure stance. Consultants who draft reports with AI assistants should review their client agreements now. Educators and trainers who use Claude for course materials should document their review process. None of these people need to stop using Claude. They need to use it visibly, reviewably, and as a declared part of their process. That is actually a stronger professional position than the one they had before. The limits here are real and worth saying plainly. Anthropic has not published a full technical specification of how watermarking works. Independent researchers have not yet confirmed how detectable or durable the signal is. The rollout timeline for full implementation is not completely clear as of today. Verify current details directly through Anthropic's official documentation before making any business decisions. Access conditions, rollout scope, and API behavior may differ from consumer use. What is clear is that the direction is set. AI content authentication is moving from a discussion into a product feature. Claude is now part of that infrastructure, whether individual users prefer it or not. The professionals who adapt to that reality early will be in a stronger position. The ones who treat it as a threat to manage in secret will face more friction. The question worth sitting with as you close this video is simple. Does your current use of Claude reflect the professional you want clients to see?